Sometimes they're really struggling to figure out what you want to tell them, what you want to hear from them. So, do you want to go back to school? They're going to tell you yes, because they know that's what you want to hear. That may not live out in their decisions, so it would save you a lot of time if you could really sort through with them, in a way that was meaningful, whether or not they want to go to school, and if so, what for and how, and what's their plan to kind of get there. Does that make sense? I see a lot of people that have had that experience. And then interestingly, and I bring this up partly because we're going to hit on it again in the parenting piece, but there are a lot of brain-based changes in the regulation of sleep. And we're seeing that kind of play out in adolescence, because we're seeing high schools look at the idea of starting at 6:45 in the morning is not actually useful for teens, because teens' sleep patterns have shifted much later, and they do much better if they start more at 9 in the morning or even 9:30. I want you to just hold that thought about how that might be impacted by parenting. So again, for teens, their mental energy is coming from the back of the brain, which is all about kind of their motor impulses, as opposed to with adults, it's really coming from kind of that frontal cortex. So it takes a lot more energy for a teen to make a decision, and we're asking them to make decisions all the time, and then we're expecting them to actually, make good decisions and live by those decisions and carry them out and be compliant with them. So just be aware that it's not actually something that's going to be in their wheelhouse, and we may have to adapt what we think of for them instead of just asking them to do something that's not really with them. When teens do use their frontal lobe, they kind of overdo it, and I think we've all seen that, with kids that are either they get so paralyzed by kind of their thinking that they can't really move into action, and it takes them a lot of time and energy in order to kind of reach that point. We can make those decisions really quickly because our synapses have already formed those connections, but imagine these